ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and squirrels from all around the world. I hope that you're doing wonderful this evening. I had a great weekend and it's pretty relaxing. I don't know if you got to see the turkeys. I've got another one of them. They were hanging out and there were about three deer hanging out also. They were all just having a having a blast hanging out in front of the place where we were staying out up in the mountains. It was a good time. Wish I could have brought you all with me, but sorry. It was just the wife and I and relaxing and having a good time. So, question is, how does a guy from Kentucky, a minister from Kentucky in 1960s, 1930s, influence a group of people in Kenya? Interesting question. How about we find out a little bit about this particular group? They were, hmm, see, let me sure I get this one up right. There we go. So this is the guy right here, William Marion Branham. Now, William Marion Branham, he was a um, one of these early. He was the early adopter of what do you call it? This big religious charismatic movement. He had he made an influence on the televangelism circuit, and his he's actually still really well respected even in his death. He claimed he received an angelic visitation on May 7th, 1946, commissioning his worldwide ministry and launching his campaign career in mid 1946. He spread as crowds were drawn to his stories of angelic visitations and reports of miracles happening at his meetings. His ministry spawned many emulators and set forth in motion the broader healing revival that later became the modern charismatic movement. At the peak of his popularity in the 50s, Branham was widely adored as the neo Pentecostal world believed Branham to be a prophet to their generation. In 1960, he transitioned to teaching ministry. Really interesting dude here. So he died. I can go in here. Was he, not mistaken, he maintained lifelong connections to a certain little group there. Yeah, that was, that's where he really, so imagine this guy has this influence of that certain little group. And, if he and I'll go into some of these a little bit later on. His Jesus name formula of the oneness Pentecostalism, which still exists today. But his death is what is really interesting. Let me get down to it because it's going to be because I'm gonna do a whole series on this particular guy. And let me get in there. Is what caused him to die, which was under the revival, blah, blah, blah. Ancient ministry. Nope. Teaching, divine healing. Sorry. This is a very long article and this will be a very long story. Um, One of the things we'll be talking about is with what's called serpent seed, predestination and grace. So Branham taught unorthodox doctrine of the source of the original sin. He believed the story of the fall of man in the Garden of Eden is allegorical and interpreted to mean that the serpent had sexual intercourse with Eve and their offspring was Cain. Branham also taught the belief that Cain's modern descendants were masquerading as educated people and scientists and were a big religious bunch of illegitimate bastard children who compromised the majority of society's criminals. He believed that the serpent was an intelligent human-like ape he described as the missing link between the chimpanzee and the man. Randall believed that the serpent was transformed into a reptile snake after it was cursed by God. Amazing, huh? And we go down even further. Seven seals. Like I said, this goes into um so here's what his death, which is really interesting. Traveled to churches to preach his doctrine across Canada, the United States, and Mexico during the 60s. His only overseas trip was during the 1960s, proved a disappointment. He reported a vision of himself preaching before large crowds, blah, blah, blah. On December 18th, 1965, Branham and his family, except his daughter Rebecca, were returning to Jeffersonville, Indiana from Tucson for the Christmas holiday, about 3 miles east of Friona, Texas, and about 70 miles southwest of Amarillo on U.S. Highway 60. Just after dark, car driven by a drunken driver traveling westward in the eastbound lanes collided head-on with Branham's car. He was rushed to the hospital in Amarillo, where he remained comatose for several days and succumbed to his injuries on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1965. But of course, it goes on a little bit further. Branham's prediction that the rapture would occur by 77. After 77, some of his followers, of course, abandoned his teachings, as they're known to do. But what was so interesting about this guy? Well, you get to hear what he said. We'll give you a little insight on what he sounds like. If I can.
Let me pass something here quickly as our times are going. Listen, did you know the Bible predicts that in the last days that there'll be a germ warfare? That diseases will break out upon the people and will fall on everyone without the baptism of the Holy Spirit? But was the angel who had charge over these plagues was given orders to touch no one on whom the mark was. Well, how much kind of teachers have we got to be, brethren, to get the church in order to be in that condition? Immune. My arms are sore now from where the doctors has punched needles in to try to inoculate me from yellow fever and so forth. I told them I didn't need it, but they wouldn't listen to me. But I'll tell you what God's going to do. God's got a serum. And it's called the Holy Ghost. And when that serum goes in, it'll inoculate you. Hallelujah. In the last days.
So these are some of the words from him. And it sounds very familiar, doesn't it? These kinds of words that come out of people's mouths.
I remember one time during the 37 flood, everybody had to take typhoid shots. And so I was escaping mine. I was a lineman, so I was out and gone. Some fellow walked up to me and said, "Have you got your shots yet?" I said, "Oh, yes. I got my shot." He said, "You did?" Said, "Did it make you sick?" I said, "Oh, no." I said, "No, it sure didn't."
This is not medical advice in any way, shape, or form. Just give you an idea about this guy. Now, I'll have more on him later. But that particular guy, he is a little bit creepy, if you know what I mean. So this is someone that left at a particular point in time, and I'll let them tell their story a little bit later on. Hey, good evening, Hal. Where is everyone? I don't know. They are probably not getting notified. Those kinds of things do happen. Sometimes people don't get notified. Um, could be that they didn't find any interest in this particular one. Whatever it is, good to see you, Al. Um, so where it comes in. Oof. So this particular group, and I'll just bring it up here. The Good News International Ministries, Good News International Church, referred to as the Shakahola. I think that's Shakahola cult. They were previously known as the Servant P.N. Mackenzie Ministries. It was based in Shakahola, Kilifi County, Kenya. Founded by Paul, and I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name, just by Paul Mackenzie. It was revealed that he had instructed members to starve themselves in mass to meet Jesus. Hey, Danielle, how are you doing tonight? It's really good to see you. My co host couldn't make it tonight. If you want to invite, I'll drop you one. You can hang out, talk with me if you want to, or you can just hang out, talk, and chat. Either way, cool with either one of those. It's good seeing you, Danielle. Oh, let's see. So I'll go in here just down a little bit further because in 2017, government authorities rescued 93 children from his particular church. They also took away his ministry. He did quite a bit of these kinds of things where he was involved in pretty unauthorized kinds of things. And let me do a refresh on that page there and see if I can bring this up. And it's not the one I'm looking for. And that one, that one. Nope, it's completely wrong also. This is what happens whenever you come somewhat prepared is there's so much to show. Hmm. So here this tab instead. And I'll just let it speak for itself.
The number of people who died after a Kenyan pastor ordered his followers to starve to death in order to meet Jesus has surpassed 300. Authorities said this Tuesday, warning that the death toll is expected to rise higher as more exhumations are planned. The death toll increased to 303 after 19 more bodies were recovered from mass graves in the vast forested land in Kilifi County of coastal Kenya, where Pastor Paul Mackenzie and his followers lived. Coastal Regional Commissioner Rhoda Onyacha said that 613 people tied to the area remain missing. On Monday, 65 of the 95 parishioners, whom authorities said they rescued from the property, were charged with attempting suicide after they staged a hunger strike.
Good evening, Jamie. Thank you for showing the love. You're showing the love. I appreciate it.
The protest being held at a shelter. In April, police went to Pastor Mackenzie's property after investigations received a tip that dozens of people were starving to death after their pastor told them it was a way to meet Jesus. Kenyan President William Ruto has likened Mackenzie to a terrorist.
Yeah. So that's the kind of guy that he is. But a lot of this could have been prevented. Just wanted to say hi. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, Jamie. Glad you could come by. I really am. Ah, you had a long day. I dig you. So here's this guy here. Appreciate it, Jamie. Really do.
Details have emerged on how Good News International cult leader Paul Nthenge Mackenzie presided over the burials of hundreds of his followers in ceremonies he referred to as harusi, the Kiswahili equivalent.
Hold on just a second. Never mind.
Of the word wedding after starving them to death in Shakahola, Kilifi County. Now, beyond the burials that he referred to as weddings, he referred to...
Hey, good to see you, Nikki. Good to see you. Hey, what's up? What is up? What is up? Things. We're just having a wonderful Monday. Being disturbed.
To faithful as heroes after starving them to death, encouraging them to join the dying spree, claiming that the end times had come. The cult leader also forbade members from contact with the outside world. Hassan Mugambi went through court documents filed on Friday and brings us more.
Shakahola. The more you seek to understand what transpired, the more intricate it gets. In a fresh affidavit filed before Shanzu Court, investigating officer Chief Inspector Raphael Wanjohi details how Good News International cult leader Paul Mackenzie presided over the burials of hundreds of his starved followers at the Shakahola forest he referred to as Jangwani. Mackenzie termed the burials harusi or wedding, and those who died in his cause were revered as heroes within the ranks of his Good News International cult. The information obtained from survivors interrogated by police revealed that Mackenzie established a system of governance in the forest with
That's Mackenzie right there smiling.
him at the helm. The cult leader cherry-picked trusted followers and appointed them as part of his close cabinet. His so-called close cabinet held meetings every Saturday at Mackenzie's residence in the forest to brief him on the status of the fast. He prescribed that the fast begins with children, then when all were dead, youth would follow, then women, before men wound up the deadly exercise. He is reported to have told them that he would ultimately follow them much later.
And that's how it usually happens. You'll ultimately follow them much later. Sort of like, hey, there's a cliff. Now, I'll catch up with you guys at the bottom.
The survivors say in order for him to ensure that he had proper grip of the forest, he created 8 villages and gave them biblical names, appointing
8 villages this guy created. Just 8 villages and just built them up.
his close cabinet to lead each village. They were Galilee, Judea, Bethlehem, Jerusalem, Emmaus, Sidonia, Tiru, and Sicare. The leaders.
Hey, Xterra Bill. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Really glad you could make it. Thanks for stopping by. Very cool.
The 8 villages coordinated teams of security, transporters, and grave diggers who are reported to be enforced.
Oh, and Iris. I didn't even. Oh, you just come slipping on in there. Just so smooth. Good to see you, Iris. Hope you're doing well this evening. I hope everybody's doing well. Make sure you guys just reach down there, hit the thumbs up. It helps out with the algorithm. It's pretty cool.
Forces of starvation before signaling Mackenzie to preside over burials. These statements were gathered from 40 out of 65 adult witnesses rescued from Shakahola out of 17 minors.
She's a slippery one. Well, that's because Baker always butters her up, doggone it. That's why she's so slippery. Hey, Stray, good to see you. I mean, come on.
Minors, 8 have recorded statements. The document that sought to persuade the court to allow for Mackenzie and co-accused to be held for 60 more days revealed that exhumation is yet to be conducted in at least 10 mass graves identified and marked for the exercise. Out of 243 bodies exhumed, 73 belonged to minors, 158 adults, and 12 are yet to be determined owing to the level of decomposition. According to the affidavit regarding the cause of death, preliminary findings are that 61 are inconclusive, 92 died out of starvation, 4 cases of asphyxia, 5 cases of head injury, and 1 case of strangulation. The state
And he just is laughing. His wife doesn't look too happy. That's his wife, I think his second wife, sitting there next to him. Just Dawn, you soulless ginger, you. So good to see you. Good to see you. How is the Libby doing? Hope he's doing well.
60 more days to hold Mackenzie, an application that was opposed by his lawyers but will be decided upon next week. Hassan Mugambi, Citizen TV.
So, as I was saying, a lot of this could have been avoided. And we go even further back. Goes even further back.
Controversy. He has had a long running with the law. His church has been in existence for more than 20 years. And in that time, he has been arrested and released several times. Here is how it all began way back in 2003. That's when the church was formed alongside his wife, Joyce Muikamba. And in 2015, then he moved the church to Migingo.
You were listening to that crazy trial in Mike's? Oh, yeah. What's up, savages? Mr. Levy, boom shakalaka. Good to see you.
Village that's in Malindi. And right after that, in 2016, a year later, Mackenzie acquired his first TV station. But in 2017, just 1 year after that, Mackenzie was arrested and charged for religious radicalization. I'll tell you a bit more about that TV station in just a bit, because there were some conversations that were being had there that were not right in the eyes of the law. But in 2018, he was also arrested and questioned and released by police after residents complained over his anti-education teaching. Remember, this is also the time the DPP is saying that they were arresting him and he was always released and blaming the courts for that. In 2018, KFCB banned Mackenzie's TV station on the basis of his doctrines. Later on, we'll be speaking to Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, who at that time was a KFCB CEO. And he says right after this TV station was...
Holy crow. So you need MG Law and I to read the transcript of it. Is it that good? I'll have to see. I don't know what transcript it is. I'm more than happy to read a transcript with MG. Maybe MG might be streaming later on tonight. If he is, might be able to talk him into it. What is this trial? This is this particular thing that you're seeing here. That's not a trial. This is a true thing. But yeah. So yeah, you tell me what it is. I'll be happy to pull up the transcript and read it. This trial Iris is talking about. I don't know the trial. Well, that's fine. I don't. Oh yeah, just send it to me. Or let me see. I think I have to double check. Give me just a second. Let me find out. Yes. See, I always forget to do this because Jamie is so slick. There we go. Ha ha. Try that on for size, Jamie. Try that on for size. If Jamie gets it, she can put it. KFC has a broadcasting network. Yeah, this would be Kenya. This would be Kenya. A little bit different KFC.
reopened again. We'll find out from him what his experience was like after attempting to ban the station which Mackenzie was using to spread his news. In 2019, Mackenzie was charged with disobedience of the law, religious incitement, and indoctrination of children as well. And it didn't stop there. The arrests continued several times after that, and also just this year, earlier on in March, he was charged with urging parents to starve their children to death. But again, released with a 10,000 shillings bail up until now, when now the death fields of Shakahola are being discovered. But we'll talk about this later on. We'd like to hear from you as well at Trevor Mbidi at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Monday Report. How should this be dealt with? Is it about stricter laws for the churches or better sensitization for the people? That's the conversation we'll be having later on in just a bit. But moving away from this heavy conversation on the deaths in Shakahola.
Well, I've got to give a hell of a shout out to this man right here. Good to see you. Big wave from the Grimm's Bar. Good to see you, brother.
Blah.
All right. So that right there is a little bit information. Turpy, what is up, brother? What is up? Another wonderful day. That's what's up. I had a beautiful day today. Lots of work. And the headache's almost gone. Just got a headache because I was staring at my computer screen most of the day doing that work thing, dealing with weird people all day. Dealing with some really, really, really fun ones. So this one, let's see. I don't know if they're going to let me play this or not. Well, I guess we'll find out. This one might give me a bit of a strike. We'll find out. So this right here, this guy. Listen to what they have to say about him.
Paul Mackenzie was seen as a pastor by some, but he'll stand before Kenyan judges, accused of encouraging followers of his Good News International Church to starve themselves in order to reach heaven. His actions led to the death of dozens of people, including children.
The government of Kenya will do whatever it takes to make sure that we convict Mr. Mackenzie and all those who helped him perpetrate his heinous crimes, that they pay with the severest and most painful punishment available.
Sharp words, but the case has left some Kenyan officials red-faced. Mackenzie was arrested twice before on similar charges, but was released on bail. Authorities are currently exhuming bodies and conducting forensic testing to make sure charges stick this time around. For many, the case is emblematic of the Christian-majority country's broader inability to address religious radicalization.
Can't have people who just wake up one day in the name of a calling to, drive people on a suicide path. Every church, every mosque, every temple and synagogue must belong to a registered, structured framework.
Investigations into the scale of Mackenzie's alleged crimes are ongoing. And on Thursday, officials are...
No, that's funny. Of course. God only wants the skinny. That's why I never let me in. I'm not skinny enough. My ass just ain't gonna make it. Just ain't gonna make it. Aqualas. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Make sure you hit the like button. Yes, of course it looks good on her. Always.
arrested another preacher who they say was involved in the mass killing of his church's followers.
Oh, and we'll get into this other guy here shortly. There's some interesting stuff going on with these folks, and that's what made me dig into William.
Detectives say some of the dead were found in the same forest where Mackenzie's followers were. Though it is not yet known if there's a link between the two cases, advocates and citizens alike hope cases like this will prompt authorities to clamp down on rogue churches before anyone else dies. Priyanka Navani, TRT World.
So that is where we get into this next guy. Now, these are still both active churches. Let me see. Yeah, I don't want to move that one over there. And so here we go. Let me share this tab instead. So this right here, the cult leader Peter Mackenzie is being investigated over the deaths of dozens faithful who worshipped in his church, anchored his ominous teaching on end-time messages. Mackenzie is accused of encouraging his members to fast in death, fast to death in order to meet Jesus. Some of those who died were buried on his 833-acre land in Malindi. And by yesterday, police had exhumed 47 bodies. His teachings were calculated to appeal to the vulnerabilities of his flock, mostly rural poor, some of who have been traveling from across country to his church. Many of these forsook their families, while some are believed to have sold off their possessions and donated the earnings to Mackenzie. Video images captured in the past show Mackenzie commanding the attention of his flock, who readily imbibe every spurious word that drips his venomous cup, and some cheer him on. He feeds his audience with false hopes, promising them blissful life in heaven, but to get there, they have to make huge personal sacrifices, turn their backs on material wealth, technology, education, modern medicine, the court system, science, and most of all, reason. Marshes. No wafer at communion for them. No, there would not be any. I wouldn't be a big fan of this guy, that's for sure. Hell no. I like my smoked meat. He has been advising his followers to fast until they go to heaven to meet Jesus. And according to some sources, those who take too long and become too weak are assisted to meet their maker. Mackenzie also teaches his flock not to take their children to school or a hospital and to abandon any earthly wealth for God. This brainwashing led his victims to create and sustain an alternative reality that eventually drove them into the shallow graves of the thickets of Shakahola, where Mackenzie's controls over the 800 acres of private land, part of it acquired through subterfuge or coercion of erstwhile friends, associates, and cult adherents. The devil is here on earth persecuting those of us who have been preaching against school education, he tells his audience in one of the sermons still available online. Education is evil. It is not the plan of God. His way to teach children lesbianism and homosexuality, he tells parents. It is those youngsters who have not gone to school who serve God, those who proceed to obtain higher education, abandon God. Education is antichrist. I oppose worldly education because it has no room for God. Yeah, it's a cult. Most definitely. The preacher, now in police custody awaiting arraignment for yet to be specified charges, has been running his church, the Good News International Ministries, based on the promise of eternal life. But the bad news is that his teachings have culminated in tens of needless deaths of vulnerable souls, including children. And although the cabinet secretary, Professor Kutier Kindiki, said that great crimes were committed on Mackenzie's property, he is yet to plead to any charges, although investigations are still ongoing. The last time he appeared in court, he was set free on $1,000 bond, which is about I don't know the conversion, but it's not very much. We're talking in the hundreds of dollars. Since the crimes committed under his watch of his cult caused public outcry. He's remained in custody with police saying he has embarked on his own hunger strike in protest. A former taxi driver, Mackenzie, get this, former taxi driver, okay? Freeze compression. I mean, always dig mine, at least, oh, well, never mind. Not so shallow. And what's associated with it, he cast the number as the mark of the beast, the biblical symbol, blah, blah, blah. He went a step further, invited foreign preachers to speak out against uh, Namba, which the government had intended as a digital data card for individuals seeking services. High Court declared the rollout of Duma Namba illegal on the grounds it offended Data Protection Act. But as we go down, former hawker Mackenzie brainwashed his converts using William Brand's end of days theology. So that right there is where I got the William Brand from. So as we were talking about earlier, William Brand being basically the godfather of televangelism, started this, which is also weird, being that he was a big proponent of a certain member that wear white hoods not acting like ghosts. I guess it would be the best way to do it. So before he went into preaching, he was a hawker at a Sultan Ahmad. He later relocated to Mombasa, where he started preaching on the streets and open air markets. With time, he built a church at this sub county on a disputed piece of land from which he was ejected and his church demolished following a court order. He later moved to Malindi, where he took a break from preaching and worked as a taxi driver. When he restarted his church and as his ministry grew, he began to take on more responsibilities within the church and in the wider community. He founded several outreach programs that focused on helping those classified as needy, according to the police. These programs included youth clubs and counseling services for women. And it's a little harsh. In 2019, he was arrested over claims of inciting his followers and the public against registering, which he termed as satanic. The hearing of his case has never kicked off. The father of 17 children, husband of 3, is also facing separate charges of religious radicalization. So he has 17 kids, and his first wife is passed. Got to run, have a great show. Absolutely. I shall have a very, very great show. Thank you very much. Increased compression. I guess that you're talking about my sound. I've been getting some weird stuff happening lately with my sound. I don't know. It could just be the software. I had this issue the other day also. Let me see if I can fix that. And I don't know if I can, but let me give it a try. Turn this down a little bit there. See if that helps out just a little bit. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully. Maybe not. I do know that I have turned down the volume quite a bit, but that's just because I was having issues with see if that took care of it. And maybe there, and get rid of that. So that should be a little bit better, hopefully. Hey, Grifty, how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well this wonderful evening. Oh, you got a show? Got a show. Well, you have a good show, and you guys make sure to check out Grimm stuff. He does some really cool music. Pretty impressive. If you haven't heard any of it, it's definitely worth a listen. So failing to provide basic education to his children, offering basic education as an unregistered school at Good News International Church. Ongoing investigations have revealed that Mackenzie was forcing his children to marry each other, saying this was in accordance with biblical teachings to sustain the family lineage. Hey, Chris Mullen, good to see you. How? Oh, I'm very soft now. Oh, that's not good. We don't need soft. Ladies don't like it soft. Is that better? A little bit better volume? Well, we'll see. We'll see if it takes care of it. Told you, ladies don't like it soft. They want it right there. In that perfect spot. He lives a lavish life inside the vast ranch where he could be seen feasting. If questioned about his appetite, he claims that he needs the energy to preach God's gospel. He reads part of the police report. Money being held in his bank accounts is believed to be from his followers who, detectives now believe, he forces to surrender before being housed at Shakahola. Yeah, this is the kind of guy that you're dealing with. Is someone that's got some serious issues with letting his people eat. So let me see if I've got the other one. I think I can play this. Yeah, I should be able to share the screen instead. All right, here we go. So
I keep thinking we need to give our children very good names. Yeah, like Faith, Faith. It means maybe because of that name, the blessings of the parents, and I think they did a good job. So I was talking to my friends back home and I was telling them it's time we also go to Rift Valley and get married there. Those who haven't gotten married, maybe we might get some very good runners. You never know.
All right, let's hear from, of course, Richard Onyonka, especially on the issue. And I want us, because both of you actually are on the ad hoc committee.
Yeah.
And you have now the reports there. I can see the state on trial if you look at the Daily Nation as well before you go to.
you can barely hear me now. Yeah, see, that's even stranger. Let me try something here for a second. See if I can get it to come back up. Let's do a series config. Blah blah blah. It does make this happen here. And see, does that sound much better? What is that? Time for me to give my pillows some head and smash out the sweetest dreams when you get to making love. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate it. I'm always lower than everyone else. Well, I try not to be. A lot of times they bring me down in their mix. I've been trying to get my sound down just a little bit also. So if that sounds better, just give a nice little thumbs up on your way in and your way out. Hopefully this is much better. I think, Nikki, that's so hilarious. I think that's pretty good. And I'm hoping that took care of the sound issues. See, I don't know because I can't hear it. So I'm never sure if it's working or not. Never sure if it's working. 2 unborn babies range Shakahola deaths to 427. And it got worse. They couldn't find the cause of death in 18 of these bodies. I'm an audio engineer. Well, it's not about me fixing it. I know how to fix it. I just need to know what the problem is. If the audio is too low, I can bring it up. If if it clips too much, I can eliminate some of the noise gate and compression, and do a lot of things with it. I don't know. I'd have to hear it back so I could tell exactly what's going on, and then I can come back and fix it. I'll take care of it. Maybe not today, but I will take care of it, just so you know. That could be a little bit better. Maybe if I bring the microphone just a little bit closer to my jaw. Oh boy. And so let's see if I've got the right one. That's not the one. And I did manage to bring this up. My console says you're 9 dB lower than the video that you are playing. That's good. So if it's about 9 dB lower, I can bring that up. It's pretty straightforward. Get it right. Get it right. Go to there, and you will bring in about there and right about there. And settings take care of here. Audio. Somewhere about right there should work. Yes. Do this. Do that. That's what it is. Now, that might work a little bit better. I should have brought up the volume to a decent level. I see that it's still not registering where it needs to. So I hope that works. I hope that works a little bit better. I'm trying to keep it out of the red, making sure that it doesn't go too much. And that should help out quite a bit there. And bring that up there. Reduction, blah, blah, blah. There we go. So that should be happening. Oh yeah, I've got StreamYard, and I've also got some other software going on in the background. Hi, Levy. You have a wonderful one. You take care, brother. I will see you again very soon. Very soon. And where was I at? Okay. So here's instead. So this is archived from Servant PN Mackenzie with end time messages. Yeah. Good News International Ministries established 17th of August 2003 by the servant of God, PN Mackenzie. The church has branches in various regions around Kenya, Nairobi, Wanu, Maladia, Kitale, Kakos, Navaja, Mombasa, Mwe, Lunga, Matano, and headquartered in Mandali for 10,000 in all the branches. The mission of this ministry is to nurture the faithfully holistic in all matters of Christian spirituality as we prepare for the second coming of Jesus Christ through teaching and evangelism. Through the gospel program, End of Time Messages, viewed through this particular channel on StarTime Decoders. I think they mean decoders. God's word-based teachings, preaching, and prophecy on end of times, commonly referred to as eschatology, is aired. The program seeks to bring the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, which is free of deceit and man's intellect. This program is aired to you every week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9, weekends on 8 to 9 and 8 to 9. Servant of God, Mackenzie has reached many souls and doubly transforming lives with the gospel of truth as guided by the Holy Spirit. So I'm still going in and out. I've been having that issue lately. Let's see if I can correct that once and for all. Audio and get rid of that one. I think it's double compressed on there. It's just his audio is like a 1980s PRC 77. That's funny. Oh, yeah. I noticed that the other day that it was giving me some problems. So it does happen. And that may bring up. No, that didn't help at all. I can tell you right now. So should be right about there. And very broken up. Gate is attacking every word. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So let me bring it open up here. Hey, Rabbit. Yeah, I've been having issues with the software that's installed on here. I've had to go in and get rid of a couple of things. So that right there should eliminate that particular gate. And that should help out a little bit right there. It should. Hopefully. That's what happens whenever you get an update. Just finished for Hunt a Killer on Discord. What are you talking about? Good to see you, MLS. Good to see you. What I need to do, if I can bother you with it, I may just, so this way I can get this stuff straightened out. We shall see if I can get this straightened out or not, because I've been having a couple of issues with my sound. It's been acting really funky lately. So let me see if I can get this taken care of. I noticed it last night that it was having problems. Let's see. I'll do if you are available. There, David. If you are, that'd be cool. Hey, Winning, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by, Rabbit. I appreciate it. One of my favorite people. Z Rabbit. She's pretty awesome. Are you ready for me on Saturday, Winning? My 1K is high. That's good to know. I can bring that down. Thank you. Let me bring that bad boy down. Mike, and let's go for, okay. There it is. 1K is down. That should help out quite a bit. Of course, I don't think it's my 1K. It's probably somewhere around the 5K that you're hearing. But I can bring that one and also the 20K. Sounds like a cheap USB mic. Well, That's because it is. It is a cheap USB mic. Always good stuff. Always good stuff. So let's see here. What I'm going to do is grab the next one here. If I can. Nope, not bringing that one. Already did that one. And that one covered. And I think, let me check something real quick. I'm going to make sure the sound is going to happen. I may not be able to play this because of the music. So what I'm going to do is mute the music and play this because the music might get me in trouble. S's are listing around 4 to 5K. Got it. Yeah. Hey, how is it going? How is it going, Shelly? Good to see you. Yeah, that was the music would have got me in trouble on that one. But there is some good news out there because this particular William soft-spoken though, so removing that won't fix it. You need to speak up and into the mic. If I speak too much into the mic, it gets very, very, very loud. And then people get like very upset. Hey, Christine, good to see you. Good to see you. Well, I'll bring the mic up just a little bit higher. I do. It's not because I'm soft-spoken. I do have a pretty loud voice. I just try to keep it down just a little bit because I can be pretty damn loud. All right, let's present this one instead.
Thank you for coming by. Today we're going to be chatting. I know you guys, some of you follow this channel because of my background. I used to be a message believer, of which I have left. It's been a year since I've left the message, and I just thought I should let you know that I left and I'm not part of the message anymore. And if you decide to unfollow this channel, I will completely understand and I won't take it against you. And if you want to stick around, well, it would be nice to have you around. So I just want to let you know that I left the message and I'm no longer part of that anymore. And the message is basically what the people who believe William Branham, that he was the seventh messenger, basically Elijah who is supposed to come according to Malachi 4. So that's the church that I used to go to for about 15 years. And last year, around February, and the 12th of February actually was my last end time message service. So it's been a year now, and I felt I should just say it. I should just speak about it and speak out about it because I feel more comfortable now. Like when I left, I was in all sorts of places. I wasn't really well. I suffered from insomnia. I suffered from a kind of depression. I was very depressed because I had believed this message for 15 years. I need to mention why I left the message. The reason why I left is I found out through reading and also questioning some of the things that were happening that no, this can't be ordained by God. This can't be proper. And for me, being someone who has always been an avid reader of the Bible, like even from a young age, so remember my dad bought me a Bible when I was still in grade 4. And I've been reading the Bible ever since, such that reading the Bible, it's something that I do even now. I do every day. So some of the things that were happening, I just thought, no, this can't be it. Like, for example, the fact that there are failed prophecies that this person who claimed to be a
Well, absolutely. Sounds good. You should send me a link on it. I've covered quite a few of them. Maybe one out of Michigan, but if there's a new one out of Michigan, I just covered one that was out of Canada. It was pretty harsh. It was a pretty dangerous one. It was pretty dangerous.
prophet actually said, and he said, "Thus saith the Lord." And so many times in his preachings, in his prophecies, he used to say, "Thus saith the Lord," never fails. Actually, the message people have a song for that. But "Thus saith the Lord" never fails. And yes, definitely, "Thus saith the Lord" never fails. But he has got lots of failed prophecies. And for me, when I started questioning, actually, when I was looking at his son, Billy Paul, his son is very old. And he said in one of his prophecies that Billy Paul, my son, you won't be an old man before Los Angeles sings. And that at that time, he was a young man, definitely. But now he's old. Then when I was looking at it, he was 82. Yeah, I think he was 82, 83, somewhere there. He's an old man. Like, come on, 82 and 83, that's old according to me. And I'm sure you know definitely that is old. And Los Angeles is not under the sea. So that's a failed prophecy. And the Bible says, if someone claims to be a prophet and they say something that doesn't come to pass, don't fear him. He's not a prophet. He has spoken presumptuously. So that was the first thing that actually got me thinking that, look here, I need to look at this thing some more because this is not adding up. And
that's pretty common for people to leave religions whenever they have leadership in a particular church. Honey Killer with us next time. Is he? You have to play Honey Killer with us next time. They do these on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And this is when I do these streams. It's on Mondays. I just sent you a story about inside Michigan members to transition. Oh, that I can cover. Maybe not on the YouTubes, but I can probably cover it. I've been thinking about possibly changing up the day that I do the Disturb series. I've had them on Mondays for quite some time now, at least 28 weeks. I think. At the most 28 weeks, because that's the amount of them that I've had. I think I've done one on Tuesday, but I was planning on changing up the day on this, just because there's a couple other things I wanted to start covering on Mondays. So if you see that the Disturb series goes away earlier in the week, it may end up coming back later on, and I may move it to a different time slot. And it may be something that I pre-record. Just depends, because some of these can be pretty dark, and I think they need to have a little bit more editing done to them. It's easier whenever you have a guest on and you're conversing back and forth. On this, it's a little bit different. And for whatever reason, my stream is acting funky. It's crazy.
Another thing that got me questioning.
Oh, Jude, thank you so much. And I've got something for you. Give me just a second, because this is for Jude. This is for Jude. Let's see if I can get it up there. There we go. This one I created just for the $2 super chats. That was just for the $2 super chats. Thank you, Jude. I love it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Yes, Stray. It is a great series, and I'm enjoying it. And no, Jude, you haven't missed me yet. It is a great series. I just do need to change up the time that I do these particular ones, like in the week. It's because there's a couple other things I want to do. Other areas I want to cover besides the cult stuff, which I love doing this. But I'm thinking of moving it to Toga. I'm thinking of moving it to possibly on weekends. Whenever it's like that. Looking to see if I can move them like on possibly on a weekend, maybe earlier on in the day, especially as winter starts to come on. The nighttime stuff is pretty cool, but these can be pretty dark for going to sleep right at night. So as you can tell, that this young lady, she left John Branham's little group because it was getting, she wasn't feeling it. There's also another person that was involved in this same type of message, and I'll just let it speak for itself. How's that?
As the regional security team and government, we want to make this brief that this morning we have arrested Pastor Ezekiel Ombok Odero of the New Prayer Center and Church at Mabueni in Kilifi County on allegations of the deaths that have been occurring at his premises and reported in various mosques or institutions. We've also taken action and closed down the prayer center going forward. So we are urging and giving information to the public that prayer center has been closed down, and whoever was in there has been cleared out. He is being brought to Mombasa, and I will request that as time goes by, we will be giving you updates as we progress with investigations. Thank you very much. No question. It's almost wrong. We'll be updating you.
Thank you, Citizen Digital, for that particular one. My cult would be a fun one. We wouldn't worship anything. No, it would be fun. It would be a lot like YouTube. Worship nothing, follow nothing, and not get caught up in all of the BS, because that right there is what I think causes a lot of these problems. Just hang out. Absolutely. That's the main thing right there. Just hang out. Have a good time. Relax. Live, love. Life is beautiful. And I think a lot of people miss out on the fun of just being. A lot of people just miss out on it. And I don't know. I think being and hanging out is much more fun. And close that. So that person that they're talking about is this guy right here. Oh, doggone it. Second. This is the person that was arrested. Pastor Ezekiel. It'll fix here shortly. So, popularly known as Pastor Ezekiel, a Kenyan televangelist and the head of the New Life Prayer Center and church based in Kilifi County. He was born in 1972, 10 kilometers off west of Rusuga Island, home in the Lake Victoria of Homa Bay County, Kenya. Is known for attracting larger crowds than usual in his church at public meetings. In an event held November 22nd at International Sports Center, and attended by Kenya's Second Lady, Pastor Dorcas Rigati, it is rumored that at least 100,000 Kenyans attended. He was born into poverty after completing his primary education. He attended a polytechnic in pursuit of a career in chemical processing technology. And he's got an alleged link to the Malandi religious cult, which is this guy right here, the Paul Mackenzie or Peter Mackenzie, whatever, following over 110 deletings and mass starvations the same month committed by the cult. The Red Cross Society stated that more than 400 people have been reported missing. It is so saddening that folks like this can get away with it. I don't know too many calls that would say it'll be fun. More like hold my beer. That'd be more like here, hold my beer. Oh, so let's share this right here. "19 members. So just imagine all these folks are still in remand for 15 days as they sought time to pursue charges against them. And that was that. Weird, huh? And that one, and that, noting that it's nothing big, it's not after the New Life Church. Crazy stuff. Let me see if I've got something I could do here. Copy, and let's see if I can get something straightened out. And go. I'm going to see if I can get a lovely guest to come in here. Let's see. Might see if I can bring a couple of lovely guests. We'll just have to see. I know everybody is always working and always busy. There was some, what was I going to say? So I've been trying to get my channel to a certain point where I wouldn't have as many issues, doing a stream, because you don't really want to step on other people's toes whenever you're doing streams. And I realized that it's not about worrying about what other folks are doing. It is about what you do and what you do with your time. And I've found that my time is short-lived and very valuable. As you get older, you find these things out. So I've set aside most of the rest of my week, except for Wednesday. I won't be able to do it Wednesday, but I'm doing a trial stream with Jessica Reloaded. We're just re-streaming the Johnny Depp trial, which has been so entertaining and so much fun. We've had a great time doing it, and it's only getting started. It's very early on in it. So we'll be doing a stream tomorrow. I will probably be starting it earlier than I do here. We usually get it started up about 7 or 8 o'clock. Just depends on what we can do. Oh, same here. Love doing it with Junior. She's a blast. Time is the most precious thing that you can give away. Yes, it is. I've also have got my 3D printer head. I sent a message out to Valhalla, but he hasn't responded back. It's no biggie. He's pretty busy with all that he's got going on. So what I've got multiple things that I'm working on. Most of it just is work, actual work. So the streaming does tend to take, second fiddle to a lot of that. I enjoy it because I enjoy hanging out with all you fine folks. You are much more entertaining than sitting around playing bass for myself, which I can't do as much anymore, just because the fingers don't work like they used to. But I do this for fun. I enjoy just hanging out with all you fine people. You're what makes it worthwhile. And I've been, what's the word I'm looking for? Blessed, I guess would be the best way to say it. Been blessed with having you guys be able to come hang out and listen to my wanton ramblings and my weird way of doing things, and then of course we get like all these wonderful creators that are out there doing great stuff, and I really enjoy supporting them also, just because they do so much more than me. The research is remarkable compared to what I can do. I sit down for quite a bit of time and have a plan of what I'm going to talk about. and it doesn't always work out well for me. Sometimes it does. That's what makes the Disturbed series a little bit difficult, is because there's certain things that you can't talk about on the YouTubes. So you have to keep them dedicated over to other channels, which makes covering certain things a little more difficult. And also, you don't want to, be like speaking bad of, someone that has passed. And it's hard. It's hard to keep being respectful in that aspect. So sometimes I have like really bad potty humor, and but it's never done maliciously. But again, like I said, I'm just blessed to have you guys. I'm so happy that you guys can come and hang out and be part of this whatever it is. I mean, it's allowed me to run into some really cool people from different countries, different parts of the world, different states of mind, just different in every way. It shows that, this little community that we have that crosses genres. It's different types of music all showing up on one stage with sort of this common goal of giving something to other people so they can watch us completely fail, succeed, our joys, our triumphs, our sadness, our happiness, our pains, all of it gets thrown out there. And it can be a lot. It can be a whole lot for some people to open up that much. I'm the best. I don't know about being the best. I'm okay. I do have a good time with it. And yeah, gallows humor, particular group of gallows humor, something I think all of us can relate with. Yeah, this particular group of creators really are something. It's different. It's different. And you'll see a lot of paths cross, a lot of paths cross in doing this. And it's not always done as malicious whenever we don't engage with other creators. A lot of times there's nothing meant by it. It could be that we didn't find whatever it is that we're looking for, or could be we just didn't like a particular group that we were hanging out with. It made us feel icky, or maybe they embarrassed us, or it could be that it's very clique-like. And see, I never really did good in the cliques. Never did good, because I was always trying to find peace between everybody. I want everybody to be happy. And in trying to be nice to everybody, other people's feelings can get a little bit hurt. And I've found that in this space, sometimes you have to do what's best for you and best for your channel. And if it takes you walking away from a situation and cutting ties, with no reason given, because what kind of reason do you give whenever you just see so many things wrong with the situation, and people want to use those kinds of things for content, because, like I said, a lot of our lives are shown here in this space. A lot of our thoughts. How do you go through knowing that there's a bad situation happening and hang around that? So you want to be, you have to be a little more guarded in this space. And it's not that I don't know. It's hard to explain. Just know that nobody wishes ill on anybody, that I try to be around. I don't like seeing I don't like seeing people do harmful things to other people. It makes me a little angry. And when I get angry, I can do really, really bad things. I'm capable of doing really bad things, and I don't want to be that way. Did something happen? No, nothing happened. Just know that there's good people in this space, and there could be some really shady people that do some really crappy things to other people. And if you see it happening, you just want to not be any part of it. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, nothing's happened. Just saying that, there's been questions asked, and I've said my piece. So that's all there is to that. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's cool. Anyhow, I do have to be heading out here in a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to redirect you guys to somebody, because I always appreciate this person a whole lot. There it is. Where is it? Copy. And here's what I'll do. Go in here to the studio, and I am going to send you guys over to this guy right here. And I'll put it there in the chat. This is where I'm going to be sending you guys. Make sure you go over and check out the expert. Say hi to that man. Costs nothing to just leave people alone. Exactly. And I like to be nice to everybody as much as possible. But with that, everybody say hi to the expert. Give a big thumbs up to him whenever you go in there, and hit one on your way out of here, and y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll see you guys soon. With that, we've got nothing more going on. If I can get my damn thing to work. Well, there it goes. So I'll leave you with a intro like I came in here. Man, this browser's acting really funky again tonight. Eventually I'll get it straightened out. But here you go.